Good afternoon, happy stampers, and welcome to my happy stamping studio. Sorry I'm a few minutes late today. However, I was having camera issues. It kept showing upside down, and I don't know if that's a Facebook issue or not. But I'd like to welcome all my live viewers as well as those of you watching on replay. And if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, because I do stream these to YouTube live also. I'm hoping today to inspire you in your creativity of your rubber stamping and card making and scrapbooking. I want to remind you all that you can use what I teach you to make scrapbook pages. I believe that scrapbook pages are just great big cards. You just have to cut your pieces of cardstock a little bit bigger and maybe stamp one or two more images. So today we're going to be using the Sending Smiles stamp set. I am not going to be using the coordinating dies, the sending dies. These are wonderful products, and they are retiring, and they are on our last chance list that just released this morning. Now, as you all know, the last chance list are products that will no longer be carried in our new catalog. And our last chance list consists of products from our 2023 to 24 annual catalog, as well as those from the, January to April mini catalog. So let's get started today. I am going to be using the Sending Smiles stamp set along with the Fun Patterns embossing folder. I'm going to be using this one that's got little arches with like flowers in the center of them. This comes in a 2-pack, and these can be used with your mini cut and emboss machine. And the other one is more geometric diamond pattern, but I like this pattern for today. So let me move everything out of the way here, and we are going to get stamping. First thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking our, I don't know the name of this, and I didn't mark my punch. It's an oval punch, the label punch. So we are going to be stamping on that, and I am going to get a piece of graph paper here so I don't get my glass mat all full of ink. And we're going to also be stamping this piece here of basic white. So we're going to get going with those, and I'm going to use the Bubble Bath Classic ink pad. And I am going to grab this small image out of the stamp set. Let's get that. And I am going to make my own pattern paper. Oh, hang on a second. I'm still cleaning up from my Saturday class, so I didn't have my blocks over here. So another thing that is going to be retiring is our A blocks, which are these real small blocks. So if you like those, I recommend that you go in and get those. And we are going to be stamping these throughout the background here, making a background. Let's start left to right. It doesn't have to be real solid. I'm kind of going up and down a little bit, not forming straight lines. Okay, so we've got that piece. Now we're going to do the same to this label, and I'm actually going to stamp off before stamping on. Oh, that might be a little bit too light. So other side, two sides of every paper, we're going to go ahead and stamp the same. And when I say in and out, see how it's kind of a jagged line? It's not a straight line going across. And then I will just fill some of those spaces in. I usually stamp left to right because I'm a right-handed person, but if you are a left-handed person, you could stamp right to left. So we've got those two pieces done. I'm going to go ahead and leave my stamp pad open. And I next have this piece. Oops, I forgot to stamp. I cut out another piece of basic white. So let me get my cutter here. And you see that was 4 by 3. Or no, you know what? I am going to use the dies today. That's why I didn't cut it. So we have these pieces ready. So we're going to go ahead and fold our card base in half. Oh, I may seem a little confused today. I have been working on things, getting things ready, and had an idea for this card today. But and I came up with the idea last week. Okay, and as I age, sometimes I forget what my intent was, but now I remember. I'm going to put this right on here, kind of in the center. It doesn't matter if it's perfectly centered between the two. Let me get that on there so it sets. Okay, then we are going to emboss this piece here. I am not going to bring my cut and emboss machine up onto the platform because I have my camera much closer than I normally do. Let me get my platforms, and I'm going to go ahead and emboss this off camera. But I will show you how I set it up. So I'm just going to place my piece of cardstock in here. And then I'm going to use my #1 platform and two acrylic plates to emboss this. We don't use the #2 platform because we are doing a embossing folder, and that makes up for that depth of that platform. So we've got that. Isn't it gorgeous? I love this pattern. I think it's a beautiful pattern for just so many different occasions, and you could even do some pieces for scrapbook pages. Okay, and we're going to put that on here. Just centering that. And you know me, I need some black and white checked ribbon. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3 widths of it and a little bit more, because we are going to do our whole ribbon is what I call it. But we will do that in just a minute. In the meantime, I want to stamp on my basic white. I want to stamp my flower and my stem. So I'm going to use this flower, and I'm going to use this stem here. And I'm just going to right now, I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do this one. And let me see, I've got to think of how my card, I can use both of them. So we're going to stamp this image twice, and we will stamp our stem image once. And I don't have a block that is big enough over here. So I'm going to use my stamp pad. Old Olive ink. I know you guys are probably thinking, Judy, you got to be kidding me. But when you're in a bind, you can use anything. I've used glasses. You guys have seen me when I stamp when I'm up in Michigan. Sometimes I will use a glass. And look at that. I can use something else that's not intended to be used as a stamping block. And now that I use that, oops, I just lost my flower. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So to cut this out, I need my coordinating die. I'm going to go ahead and get my flower dies out at the same time. So my coordinating die would be this one right here. Oh, I could have used these instead of that big die. Ooh, I wonder. No, we're going to go ahead and stick with what we're decided with to begin with. And then this is the coordinating die with that flower stamp. I am going to get my mat. And once again, I am not going to be cutting this out on camera just because I have my camera so close to my stamp area right now that I can't get my cut and emboss machine under the camera. Some of you have asked me to go a little bit closer, so I'm trying that today. I gave it a trial period and it worked, except I can't use, I forgot to allow room for my cut and emboss machine. So I'm just going to cut this out very carefully. How was your weekend? How many of you watched the eclipse yesterday? You know, I shared a picture on here, and I took several pictures through the lens we were looking at, and I couldn't get a good photo. I tried taking it direct also, and I couldn't get a good photo. So I just went through and chose the best photo of them all to take for you guys and share with you. Okay, we're going to take this, and instead of stamping it, because now I can't find my stamp, I probably brought it over there when I went to get a my block. And I know as soon as I get off here, I will find it. But I will tell you what, if I don't find it in enough time, I will post a photo of this on here. So what I did is I ran it through with the bubble bath cardstock. And I'm just going to move a couple of things. You know, my stamping area is cleaner than it has been in at least 2 weeks. And I can't believe I can't find that stamp. Just going to move everything here. Double check in here. No, I don't see it. I could have used a different stamp, I guess. Okay, how many of you are laughing at me right now? Hands up. Huh. It is baffling me where that stamp went, but that's okay. I'm going to pick out another stamp from here, and I'm going to do love and big hugs. So love and big hugs on this block here, and I'm going to do that in Memento ink. I'm going to keep my die right up here because I'm sure I'm going to find that stamp when I get off camera. I do love and big hugs right in the center here. Now I'm going to put another small flower on there, I think. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're just going to put this here. I could have used one of those smaller labels, actually, but this is okay. Okay, we're going to take this. We're going to go ahead and put our flower onto our thing here. My label will go off to the side, so I'll do my ribbon down here. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And I'm going to use some liquid glue, very little. Remember, less is more when it comes to this glue. You don't want it all over the place. So less is more. There you go. get this right like this. Okay, I am going to grab a sponge dauber because I can't find that stamp. Or actually, let me just use a sponge. And I am going to sponge around the outside of the flower. I'm going to make this work. Let's go around that outer edge, and that's going to give it a little bit of depth. See that? Now, probably are thinking it's not much, but look when you compare both of them together. So we're going to grab some more. You know, while I'm doing this, I'm looking around my station where I'm stamping here for that stamp, and I still don't see it. It's probably stuck on the back of something, but that's okay, stamp. We are going to go on without you. Okay. Look at. There it is. I told you it was probably in the back of something. How many of you are screaming at me? Judy, it's on the back of your pad. Okay, well, we're not going to use it anyways. So how about that? I just made it and decided, nope, we're not using that. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put a center in this flower. So I'm showing you how you can do a little bit of alteration to your flower. I am going to do it. Oh, I really don't want to do it in bubble bath. Oh, let's try Calypso Coral. I think Calypso Coral will be dark enough. You see, yeah, that'll be great. Okay, we're going to put that right in the center there. So this is going to give our flower a little bit of a different look. Okay, I'm going to put it up, this one up a little bit higher. There we go. So that fixed that, right? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put a ribbon on. And this is a ribbon technique that I do all the time. And you guys keep telling me to do it again, because when you go to do it, you forget what to do. So I'm just taking a 1/8 inch hole punch, and I'm going to punch it right next to that stem. I'm going to take my ribbon, take the two ends, fold it over, just like that. Put it in there. Easier said than done sometimes. There we go. And you know, when I do my classes, my in-person classes, everybody loves when I do this particular ribbon on my cards that we're making, because this is a ribbon that everybody can do. This is a bow. And it's not really a bow. We're just going to tie it. We want to make sure this is not twisted. Give that a little twist here. So it straightens out. There we go. Okay, we're going to take one and put it under. We're doing the splits, as I call it. And then we can tighten that up slightly. You don't want to pull it like this because you'll rip your paper. Okay, and then we just take and we tie a knot. And it's only a single knot. And this ribbon will not move anywhere. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to give it a little tug so its legs go down a little bit. And I'm just going to give this a snip. These are not my sharp scissors. So if I find that if I hold the ribbon taut, it will cut a lot better. Okay, so we've got that. And I'm hoping that was all on camera, because now that I look at it, I was off camera a bit. Okay, I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and we're going to raise this up. Now, you could choose to raise this layer up, or you could choose just to put it onto the card front, because I am going to be using dimensionals for the flower heads. And if you mail it, you may have to put extra postage, but hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. So I was just this morning cleaning my other take your pick tool, the one with the spatula on the end, and I use that to take off pieces that have been glued down. And I had to do that a couple times this weekend, and it was all gunky. Okay, so I'm going to take these and take some dimensionals and add those on. You could adapt this layout to, oh my gosh, just about any flower that you have in your collection, you guys. And it wouldn't, you don't have to have dyes for it. You could just put another layer of white on there. Now, they still pop, even though it's the same color as the background, because by embossing that background, I don't know, sometimes I think it makes my cardstock look a little bit lighter when I do tone on tone. Now, I'm looking at this label, and I'm thinking it's too big. What do you think? So I am just going to snip it. Oh my gosh, that reminds me of, oh, yeah, I can't think of his name now, Barney Fife. Oh my gosh, what's the actor's name? It just blew my mind. And when he does, I actually, on the Andy Griffith show, he goes, nip it, just nip it. My husband goes around saying that a bunch of times. So it just reminded me of that. Okay, so we're going to put that on there. And I am just going to put a little bit of glue right on the tip. I'm going to let that be right there. I want to be able to read it. Hold that down for a second. Okay, so we need to put some embellishments on here. So next we're going to add some of these iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. I just think they are gorgeous. So let's put this one right next to that flower head. And we can do this one here up a little bit. And then this one we will do here, just like that. So we've got that. Now we need to do the inside of our card. So real quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our ink, and we have the old olive and our ink pad as our block. I'll hold it down a little bit because I can't quite see it. Oops. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Let me see if I can get this back on there. There we go. It's good enough. How do you fix that? You grab your Stampin' Blend. So I could have inked down that other part of the leaf, but I decided not to. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of ink that I have right here, and I can see the outline. I need to do a little bit more. And I'm just going to follow that outline. And I start light and go darker. I even shape that a little bit different. I'm going to go over here and do the same. So I've fixed that. Remember to clean off the tip when you're done. Okay, and now that I found those flowers, we are going to go ahead and stamp those on the inside of our card. Oh my gosh, I got a fingerprint up here. We'll fix that. No worries. Get that, get our Calypso coral, and do our flower centers. Oops, I flicked it off. So that's going to coordinate with those flowers on the front of our card. How am I going to fix that, you say? Well, I'm going to go in here, and I have a leaf image. And I am going to just stamp a few leaf images up in this corner. And we have a smaller flower right up here. Let me take this one off the side. We are going to stamp this one right there. Now I'm going to grab my old olive marker. Oh, I thought I was going to grab my old, yep. Right here. And I'm going to use the fine tip for this. And I am just going to add a stem, just like that. And I can take my Calypso Coral marker and I'm just going to add a little inside for that one. Okay, let's move our ink pads out of the way. So that was just an opportunity for us to be creative, or even more creative, right? Grab this, put this on the inside. And how gorgeous is that? I'll put a personal message on the inside of that. But there we go. There's today's card. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, our last chance sale started this morning for those products that are going to be leaving us. And even those that aren't leaving us, if it is a bundle in the current catalog, if it carries over, 99% of the time, it is no longer a bundle in the new catalog. So until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping.